This presentation is to introduce ChemADVISOR's Global Chemical Regulatory Report and our associated regulatory compliance services. My name is Nathan Peters. I am the Marketing Director for ChemADVISOR, and I will be leading this presentation. The Global Chemical Regulatory Report is a new product that's being offered by ChemADVISOR. It is a document identifying the chemical regulatory requirements for a specific country or region. This document describes whether or not a requirement exists, what commentary and guidance is available to understand these requirements, and what is the direct citation of the applicable requirements. This report is updated biannually, and it allows you to track changes over time to a country or region's requirements. You can look at the Global Chemical Regulatory Report as a different way of organizing information that we capture in our other products. If you look at the LOLI database as regulatory information organized by CAS number, and the Transportation Advisor database as regulatory information organized by UN number, then the Global Chemical Regulatory Report would be regulatory information organized by country or region. The Global Chemical Regulatory Report provides answers that aren't necessarily forthcoming in our other database products. First, it helps to put those chemical regulations in context. Second, it addresses those criteria-based requirements that may not be captured in our other database products. Some examples would be GHS and CLP requirements. These are criteria-based regulations, and as such, individual substances are not necessarily classified. In fact, in the case of OSHA, there's no expectation right now that there will be government-issued classifications. That means there's no place for this information in LOLI, but there is a place for it in the Global Chemical Regulatory Report. Also, the report addresses requirements common to all chemical substances. Examples of these would be new product regulations or product registration requirements. Now, the Global Chemical Regulatory Report is not attempting to capture all information for every jurisdiction we monitor. Instead, we are trying to capture the information that we call the core. This is the information that is the baseline for understanding your compliance requirements for any given region. These items would include chemical inventory requirements, new chemical notification requirements, product and substance registration requirements, and HAZCOM requirements. Now, in those cases where we have additional information to share, we are going to share them in the report. But you should look at that as supplementary information and not part of the core deliverable. We are looking at this as a global product. This product is designed to address requirements all over the globe, including Asia Pacific, Europe, Middle East, North and South America. Basically, if a region has chemical control legislation or chemical control requirements, we are capturing it in this report. However, we also understand that this information may need to be customized to fit your specific needs. This product is designed with that sort of flexibility in mind, so that we can help you answer the questions you need answers and use this as a way to structure and speed the delivery of those requirements. This graphic has been useful in understanding what is covered in the Global Chemical Regulatory Report. I call it the knowledge map. You'll see on the left-hand column, those are countries. Across the top are chemical requirements, chemical regulatory requirements. Basically, the items in red are covered for all requirements and all countries that are covered by the report. The items in green are included if we have that knowledge, but they're not part of the core. The red is the core. The Global Chemical Regulatory Report is sent as a subscription. It is a document in PDF format that's updated every 6 months. If you purchase services from us, you can view the Global Chemical Regulatory Report as our starting point. We use this information to begin to define the project we will be doing for you. Here's a sample Global Chemical Regulatory Report for the European Union. You'll see on the left-hand side it's the type of requirement, the legislation name, a brief description of the legislation or regulation, a description of the source, and, where appropriate, an associated lolly list ID. We do have sample deliverables available for your review. What I want to point out here is one of the notification requirements in Europe under the CLP. You'll see here there is no associated lolly list. This is a criteria-based system, and as such there is not lolly content specific to these criteria. We will publish classifications as they're available for individual substances, but to make you aware of these requirements, you would need to look at the Global Chemical Regulatory Report to see if there were things, notification or other non-chemical specific items that would have to be addressed. The Global Chemical Regulatory Report is sold as a subscription. It is based on the number of jurisdictions to be included in the report. Typical pricing is per country, per year, and we do offer product bundles, say for example a North American bundle or a European Union bundle. Next, I'd like to go into how we use the Global Chemical Regulatory Report and our other services to show how we can assist with global chemical regulatory compliance. Now, the problem, as our customers have explained it to us, is you have to monitor chemical information across a wide range of jurisdictions and product lines to stay in compliance. This means different regulatory environments. This means different regulatory processes, different ways of making regulations in place, different source languages. Some sources are published in French, some sources are published in German, some sources are published in English, and some are published in Chinese, Japanese, etc., etc. We help you navigate that by providing a report that's in English for all of these different languages. And finally, different regions interpret the rules differently. They may use the same words, but those words mean different things. They may have different goals in mind. Certainly the American approach to chemical regulation is different than the European approach to chemical regulation, and those regional differences need to be acknowledged. So the question you have to ask is, do you want to spend the time to learn how to complete a product registration? Do you have the resources available to do that type of work? What if you don't have in-country resources? Do you have the time and ability to find and evaluate those experts in every country where you have an interest? If you answer any of these questions as no, then there are things ChemADVISOR can do to help. Our approach, simply put, has 3 stages. Identify the requirements, apply the requirements to form a compliance plan, and then execute the plan. Now, ChemADVISOR has a wide knowledge base that feeds into all stages of this process. This knowledge base includes the LOLLY database, the transportation database, the OHS pure substance database, and the Global Chemical Regulatory Report that I talked about earlier. All of these products may be brought into a specific project, but this forms the, as we say, the base of knowledge for our experts. From there, we apply that knowledge to help you achieve compliance. The Global Chemical Regulatory Report identifies those country and region specific requirements. This really does provide the basis for the completion of regulatory services, saying what requirements exist, how do you comply with those requirements, and where's the original source material. In addition to country-specific requirements, there are substance-specific requirements as well. Those requirements are met by a search of the LOLLY database. We would deliver a report of all substance-specific information contained in the database. And here's an example of a query we've conducted on toluene. All of these documents are available as sample documents for your review. Just contact ChemADVISOR and we'd be happy to talk to you about it. Once we've identified the country-specific and substance-specific requirements, we would then apply this knowledge to your business needs to form an action plan. This means reviewing your specific product formulations and usage against the requirements, and the deliverable of this activity would be a detailed path forward for bringing your products into compliance in the country or region of interest. Once we've identified the requirements and applied our knowledge to form a plan, we can then help you execute the plan. Based on the information developed when we applied the knowledge, we will then provide hands-on support and guidance in completing these requirements. Now, the deliverable for the execution is going to be different in every case. It's going to depend upon your company-specific goals. It's going to depend upon your company-specific configuration. Where do you have in-country resources? Where do you need to bring in other resources to assist with a project? It's highly variable. What ChemADVISOR has done is establish a network of in-house and third-party experts that we can bring to bear to assist you with your international chemical compliance requirements. Some examples: submission under China REACH, PMN, a Russian GOS certificate, submission of a REACH dossier, or the creation of the required hazard communication documents. Here's an example of the Russian GOS certificate. This is a project we had done a couple of years ago. Here's an example of a Vietnamese submission that we've helped complete. If you've been involved in REACH, you've seen the confirmation of a completed submission. We've done that work. And here's an example of a confirmation of a completed registration that we've been involved with. ChemADVISOR's goal in this process is to create a clearly defined structure for assisting our customers in dealing with your specific chemical regulatory environment. The way we've set it up allows you to select exactly what level of support you need. And it allows us to instill confidence that your company is in compliance in any given country or region. If you'd like more information, contact ChemADVISOR today. We can always be reached at info, I-N-F-O, at chemadvisor.com. Or you can call us at country code 1-412-847-2000. Thank you for your time.